So now you're telling me you're going to pay me a whole bunch of money to beat up some YouTube star. I don't know. That sounds like I have a great life. I don't understand why anyone's saying like that's degrading. I don't get it. I don't understand for the life of me why that would be the case. Okay? Sounds like a great time. If they're going to pay me a whole bunch of money to beat up Jake Paul, I'm okay with getting a whole bunch of money to beat up Jake Paul. I really, really, really don't see the problem there.
The phrase that comes to mind today is, where is it that you give your time? And the reason why I'm going to say where is it that you give your time, because it doesn't matter if you're a YouTuber. Yes, I'm talking about that sleazy, sorry ass Jake Paul, but at the same time, you got to give credit where credit is due. Even though, what I'm saying is, even though he beat a mediocre guy that just knows nothing but wrestle with mediocre hands like Ben, I feel bad. But at the same time, I'm kind of pissed at him, because he did talk a lot, and it's not just about you just getting attention. If you're gonna go out there, you better go out there and actually perform. One thing is for sure: when I go out there and I fight and I talk stuff, I go out there and I compete. And you better damn know that I'm gonna get my hand raised.
I mean, I feel like he legitimately is passionate about the fight sport and passionate about boxing, and is all hands on deck with that. I mean, he's done the entertainment thing, he's done the social media thing, and he got a lot of hate from that. You cannot hate somebody for winning a fight. You can't really put opinion in it too much. I mean, unless you're saying it's rigged, which some people were saying that was rigged. I think Dana White was thinking that wasn't a legit fight. And, other people have said that based on, Ben Askren and his family's reaction and everything else and the way it went down.
He sucks at boxing in comparison to other main event fighters. He's the worst boxer ever to do this record number of pay-per-views. But he's still a young man that's got a goal, who's a proven success. And he's proven to be successful because he will do whatever it takes to get there. Big goal, steps to get there. He's proven it. I offer you that because I'm not ready to say he won't be a good boxer. He's far too old to believably think that he's going to be a great boxer. Does he need to be? I mean, in all fairness, does he need to be, guys? We talk about it all the time. Quit focusing on the ranking. Focus on the placement of the card. Who cares what he's ranked? He's a main event fighter.
I would crush Jake Paul. For one, as an athlete, it doesn't make sense. As an athlete, these guys should not even think about, they're just not worthy to step in the cage or the ring with these guys that they're going to be fighting. Not worthy. But as somebody who's dabbled into YouTube and social media and stuff, you got to take your hat off to these Jake and Logan Paul. These guys are making some money and making moves. So hats off to them in the business aspect, but the athlete in me is like, why is this even happening? Like, they don't even deserve it.
Anyhow, getting back to Jake Paul, if you dedicate your craft or whatever you're doing, even if you're a YouTuber, but keep in mind too, the kid comes from a wrestling background. He's a wrestler that became famous off of YouTube, but in reality, he's still a wrestler. And what wrestling teaches you is just completely different, man. So anyhow, if you dedicate your time to this certain craft or something, especially being a wrestler, you can beat a mediocre guy with mediocre hands like Ben Askren. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I personally think that Jake Paul will beat Tyron Woodley. He don't want no smoke with Triple C, but I personally do believe and I feel that he will beat Tyron Woodley. Why? Is because Tyron Woodley, he has all that muscle. We've seen his fights, he gets tired. He only has that overhand right, and it's good and it's vicious. But in an 8-round fight with a kid that has a chip on his shoulder, he wants to demonstrate to the world. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are going to hate me. But I know, I boxed amateur. Daniel Cormier can't say he fought amateur boxing. A lot of these guys cannot say, I've been there and I've done that. If the guy is dedicating his time, he will beat the average guys with average hands in the UFC. Anyhow, I'm not hating. I'm just stating facts. I've boxed. I've been there before. I've gone up against the best. I've wrestled. I've done mixed martial arts, and I've conquered all of these.
We've never sparred. I've seen him spar. I've seen him do things. I'll tell you what, for his size, man, he's got decent hand-eye coordination. Now, can I say he's legit? Hitting the bag, he looks smooth. Hitting the pads, he looks smooth. And in sparring, he's done some things that look good. But boxing is about fighting, man. So, legit to what level? Like, are you talking about him fighting with Zab Judah? No, he's not going to beat Zab Judah. But is he going to beat the shit out of Ben Askren? It's legit as he's going to beat the dog out of him. Now, Ben does have experience. Ben could get him tired, maybe 4th, 5th round. Jake's never been in these areas. things could happen, you know? As long as he sticks to what he knows and does what he's supposed to do, I think he's a much better athlete. I think he naturally hits way harder than Ben. Because
I thought that as far as the contest went, and you have to understand one thing about Jake Paul, and it's very hard to accept. It's very hard to accept that nerd's a tough guy, right? I mean, that guy, he's rough. His brother is too, and I know there's a pushback. I know there is. I'm not saying they're good fighters. Hold that thought, because he's 24 years old as it regards to Jake. He might become one. I understand for now he's not a very good fighter. I'm speaking to something different, which is a toughness. He is a rough guy at heart. I saw an interview with his father, and I figured his father would be a dork like he and his brother are. Because what I was told is it was the father that got them into the YouTube and the acting like weirdos and the doing the whole bit, right? Which is good for entertainment. I'm not just here insulting him. There was a real positive side. He just would go in the column of dorky.
You know, Jake is he's taking boxing seriously, so he's training, and he's been training for over a year, like steady all the time, training, you know, best trainers, he's got all the money, he's got all the trainers, he's got all that. So he's a full-time, you know, amateur, or well, I guess pro now, but boxer basically. He's training, you know, and then he's challenging guys like video gamers and these basketball players. And now he's trying to get Conor McGregor, and now Nate Diaz is jumping in, and God, he's going to be in deep shit if Nate Diaz fights him. Like, if he takes the Nate Diaz fight, he's going to get fucked.
I mean, he's definitely legit. He's only 23 years old. He's got great training partners around him. He's got all the resources to be good, and I feel like he's got some natural gifts and a big heavy punch. I would like to see what comes of this, though. I mean, is Jake going to really pursue the boxing world? Is he going to keep doing, you know, getting into the MMA space a little bit? Tyron would be good. There's a whole list of guys that would be good when it comes to the mixed martial arts battle, hopping into boxing against a guy like Jake, who's not a bad boxer, who's fairly dangerous, but is, and I'm sure he knows this, pretty green still. So I'm excited for whatever's next.